And man, I was devastated. I was pissed, like sad, like all the emotions you could feel during that. So you gotta at least get 45,000 a month
Just to
break even. Yeah.
Got it. So that means you're just breaking even.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people saying like sneaker reselling is dead. How are you able to continue during this like down period?
This is Austin, the owner of Retroville. He opened the sneaker store right when the sneaker reselling market crashed. And while even the top chains like Foot Locker are closing down hundreds of locations and almost every new release is selling for under retail, he still manages to own one of the best sneaker stores in the local area and sell shoes for way above market price. And today, I want to find out how.
What up, Stinny?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
We made it. Stinny, this looks beautiful.
Thank you.
A lot more than the last time I was here.
Yes.
Walk me through what we got going on.
First, well, what's new is a lot more New Balance selection. Got a lot Asics in as well.
Yeah.
So we kind of shifted the layout around. When we first opened up, we had a lot of like Dunks, Jordans. We tried out New Balance, and it worked really well. People love this, the 9060 models.
How many do we sell last month?
We sold 50 pairs or 51 pairs in 30 days.
Yeah, that's nuts. I'm just 9060s, so just this model.
Yeah, so just this model.
What are you guys paying on stuff like this? I mean, you're selling for $195.
Yeah.
What's your cost?
So we try to pay a little under retail if we can. If there's no suppliers with them under retail, we'll just honestly get them off of the New Balance.
How much do you
offsite
retail for?
retailer. 150.
150,
So we don't
okay.
make a
That's
lot
not
on them. We don't make a killing on them. We
Yeah.
just make like 45 bucks.
And how did you get started in sneakers?
So I started at Dick's Sporting Goods. I started in the footwear section, so I was around shoes all the time.
Yeah.
So in Dick's Sporting Goods at the time, they had like a few retros, Jordans, Kobe's here and there. I would just like check like the market on some of the pairs. So like for like Vapor Maxes, like they were on sale, and I always had like the employee discount. You just get like one pair at a time. But I would kind of like find those like one pairs like once a week, and then I'd be like, check the market. I'm like, oh wow, these are going for a lot of money. So I'd get that discount, get a little under retail, and then yeah.
And you ended up getting fired from Dick's Sporting Goods, right?
I did, yeah. So
Okay, I want to hear more about that in a
Yeah.
second. But for now, let's walk through some of the best sellers over here. So in the Jordan section, what do you guys think sells best?
yeah, so Jordan 4s are like the hottest Jordans right now, I would
yeah.
say. So like best sellers right now is obviously the two new ones that came out this year. Red 4s right here, the reimagines with the leather uppers, and then the newly released military blues.
Yeah, and we just picked these up across the street.
We did, yeah.
So okay, you gotta explain this to the viewers.
Okay.
Why would someone buy this shoe from you guys for $350 when we just bought them across the street for $225?
This is like the day after release, so this is like we only got the leftover pairs. After that, the Finish Line and Foot Lockers and the retailers, they won't have them anymore unless they get like a late shipment in. So with Jordan releases, they come out like once and then like never again. These retailers won't have them. So this whole store is basically a collection of like past releases that you just can't get at the retail price anymore because they're in such high demand, they'll just sell out.
So this military blues, for example, specifically, this is one where like you're gonna sit on them for a little bit, and then eventually stock will dry up. Stores won't have them anymore.
So
you
like
can't buy them across
just to
the street.
secure them for retail, even if you have like more than you should really right now to sell, just to stock up on them. Just like
We grabbed, how many pairs did we grab just now?
seven or
Okay,
six.
we'll go check those out in a sec. Let's go back to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yes.
You got fired from Dick's Sporting Goods. How did
Yes.
that happen?
So believe it or not, it wasn't even for like the shoes or like reselling wise. It was from having a family friend use my like, employee discount. Basically, I call her family. She was like my second mom, basically. Known her for like my whole life. She just needed like a jacket for her son. So I rung her out, or I like typed in my employee like code for the discount. And then how they caught it was the card, the name on the card, because all of my purchases were under like my name card. So they see a different name under it and it flagged. So they got me for that little thing. Believe it or not, yeah, pretty crazy, but yeah, they said it violated the rules of employees.
It's
You can't
ridiculous.
give out.
It was like what, like $100 jacket, $50
Yeah,
jacket?
so the discount was like 30 bucks, 40 bucks.
And they fired you. over
Fired
that.
me over that, yeah.
Okay, and where'd you go after Dick's? You went to Finish Line?
Yeah, after that, it was like 2 weeks. I just walked to the mall, walked in the store, be like, hey, you guys hiring? And they're like, oh yeah, not right now. But I was persistent about it. I came in like a few days after. I was like, hey, you hiring?
Yeah.
And I guess they just got sick of me like, asking, so they eventually hired me. So I started as an associate there.
That's great. And this was 2021, right?
This was 2021, yeah.
Okay, let's talk more about that in a sec. We're here at the clothing section. Tell me about what we got over here. I see some Hellstar tees.
Yeah.
Some denim tears.
So yeah, since we've opened, we've also expanded our clothing section by like double or triple.
Yeah.
But yeah, we carry a lot of the streetwear brands that are hot right now. So this is like the Denim Tears, Offset collab t-shirts, obviously the Hellstar tees with the crazy prints. We have Bape, Supreme, Antisocial, anything that like a store like this would try to carry. Yeah, we carry Essentials, obviously.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of stores. They've been telling me that they're moving more clothing than they are sneakers. Is it the same thing here?
No, it's like getting towards that kind of, now that we're bringing more clothing in. But we sell like sneakers a lot. I would say it's like 70-30 right now.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty healthy. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, goal is to get like more clothing because you make a little bit more on the clothing than you can with sneakers.
What's like the average margin for clothing versus shoes?
Clothing, I would say, is like 40 to 45%.
Okay,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Shoes is like 25-30%.
Okay. Still pretty solid.
Yeah,
Still
solid.
pretty solid.
But
So for something like Onyx 350, selling them for 335, how much you paying on something like this?
I think we paid like at the time it was like 250 around there. So
Okay.
it's like probably like 23% margin on that one.
And market right now is like what, 270, 275? Right around there? Cool.
Yeah.
So this really isn't that bad.
Not
You're
that bad.
paying StockX, you're paying after tax, shipping, fees.
It'd be like
same
$15
thing.
more, or like
Yeah.
$10 more. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you get into sneakers in the first place? I know it was like 2019 era, Last Dance documentary. What got you started?
My dad's from Chicago area, so during COVID, this was like right when COVID hit, so it was like lockdown. We had to stay in the house. So it was like perfect. He was like, hey Dad, you want to watch this? Like, you're a big Michael Jordan fan growing up. You grew up in Chicago. Like, let's like see like the story of him. And that really like opened my eyes to see like, before the documentary, I really didn't understand the whole hype about Jordans. I knew they were nice shoes. I knew they like that, but I didn't understand why. And like seeing that people respect him, like, oh my God, they thought he was like God or like Jesus.
Yeah.
They're saying like Black Jesus is what they're calling him. So that like really opened my eyes, and I was like, okay, I see why people are spending or lining up outside of malls for like these releases every other week to get these Jordans, because they wanted to like, they thought they could wear the Jordans, they could like play like Jordan, etc. So
Yeah, and so now, I mean, the store is called Retroville.
Retroville, yeah.
Yeah, so it's fitting.
Yes, call it Retroville. There's like Jordan Retros.
Yeah.
Kind of
And we've got
inspiration.
the shoe that started it all back there.
We do, yeah.
We'll take a look at those in a sec. So tell me more about sales in general, right? So you said 70-30 split between sneakers and clothing right now. How much profit is the store actually making every month?
It varies with the month. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you got the peak season,
yeah.
back to school, holiday season, but making about, I would say like 15 to all the way up to 30,000 each month, depending on which month it is.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's before expenses.
Okay.
So yeah, I obviously have expenses that cut into that.
Got it.
It's not straight profit. You gotta pay the rent, overhead, all that.
So walk me through those numbers. How much is rent? How much is employee cost? Utilities, insurance, everything.
Yeah, so rent is around like $3,000 every
cheap.
month. Yeah, it's good. Then you have like electricity, so it's like $500. Payroll is probably the most expensive, like paying your staff, managers, all that. That could run you from like, it's usually around like 10,000.
Wow.
It's like, could be like 8 to 10,000.
Okay, and you usually have 2 people on the floor at all times, or is it just?
Yeah, so we'll have like a sales boy, or we have the manager here, and then I'll be in the back kind of doing my thing with sourcing or whatever the store needs at the day.
So in total, probably like around 15 in expenses a month.
Yeah.
Got it. So that means, I mean, some months you're just breaking even.
Yeah, so you're like just above breaking even, or you're like, yeah, you break even.
I feel like a lot of people would see, I mean, because how much shoes do you have to sell to hit 15,000 in gross profit?
Gross profit, so your sales numbers would have to be, what, 45,000 at least? So you gotta at least get 45,000 a month.
Just to
break even, yeah.
Just to break even, yeah.
And then anything above that is like straight profit, so.
A lot of resellers would be looking at this saying like, oh, 40,000, sold 40,000 worth of sneakers, you're rich. But it's really not like that.
Yeah, no.
Let's take a look down at these Chicago.
Yeah, sure.
They've been eyeing me.
So yeah, these are the 1985 Chicago ones. The first ever Jordan to release for the general public, in the classic Chicago colorway. So yeah, very special shoe. It's basically the shoe that started it all for Jordan collectors and Jordan fanatics.
And for us now, really.
Yeah, really.
We wouldn't be here if it weren't for
Yes,
for
if it
this
wasn't
shoe.
for this shoe coming out.
Cool. All right, let's check out some of this other clothing. So what do we got over here?
So we got denim tiers right here, denim tier hoodies, and then we have spider hoodies as well. So it's like that web print.
Yeah.
There's other styles, but this is the most popular one. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. All right, so Sten, I gotta ask. So $320 for a hoodie.
Yeah.
Why are people paying this much for a hoodie?
It's just the brand, honestly. So it's just like, it's like the same thing with any other like big clothing or like Louis Vuitton, right? Why are you paying so much for Louis Vuitton? It's for the name. It's for like, I guess people that respect you. It's like, oh wow, like he's got money, or like, so
It's a status symbol.
status symbol. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Interesting. Okay, do you think it's worth it?
Me personally, I'm not gonna say if I do.
What do you
but
got on right now?
I have like a New Balance shirt, and then I have a Yeezy Gap hoodie,
Which costs what, like?
$30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep it casual.
I'm very cheap.
If you had unlimited money, you think you'd be wearing this stuff, or you think you keep it?
Like wanted, I don't know, like wanted just to have it, you know. But my style, probably not. No.
Yeah. How much are you actually taking home yourself? Because do you pay yourself hourly for working here?
I pay myself
for-
like a salary, like
Okay.
weekly.
Actually, let's hit that in a sec.
Yeah.
So we've been talking to a lot of stores, and they've been telling us that everything's getting faked.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the fake clothing in this market?
Okay. Yeah. So fake clothing, I only buy stuff with receipts, or we're just buying it retail ourselves. Like these ones, we bought retail ourselves off Spider. I just actually took a phone call today. Guy tried to bring in a Bape hoodie, and I was like, hey, do you have the receipt for it? And he's like, no, I don't. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just pass on it. Just 'cause you never know, really.
Yeah.
The clothing fakes are really good, one of one.
Really good.
So it's like hard to legit check too. So yeah, it's getting scary out here.
Yeah. Do you feel like you miss out on sales because you're not able to find?
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely.
Is it hard to compete with stores who are just like carrying?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like hard to compete. Yeah, you don't have like the stuff that they have, but at least we know that we're selling 100% authentic product in here.
Yeah.
So people that come in, they know that everything in here is legit. They don't have to worry about being like one of one or something like that. Even though some of these stores do sell like the clothing and they say, yeah, it's real, but
Yeah. Why don't you sell fake? Money's there.
because I mean, like you're paying. Because if I was to sell this fake, right, $350, you're getting fake stuff for a real price.
Yeah.
It's like morally wrong. I would say.
Got it. Okay. So walk me through the finish line journey.
Okay, so finish line, yeah. So at the time, I knew of the manager and I knew of a local reseller that she was like backdooring to. It was like her guy. So I was like, how do I get there eventually?
Yeah.
So I went in as an associate, and I knew to be able to like have access to like allocate like products, you have to be a supervisor, ASM or above. You can't have like an associate do that because you don't have the permissions to.
The goal was always to just backdoor sneakers from.
It was just honestly to make like extra money at the time. I was making the money just to like afford like shoes for myself. So I was just like doing that. My first pair of Jordans actually was the white cement 4s. I bought them off Facebook Marketplace.
2016.
2016 VA, yep.
Yeah.
So I got those off Facebook Marketplace, and yeah, I was so stoked. I was like, wow.
Great shoe.
Yeah, first great shoe to have for sure.
How much you selling pandas for now?
We're selling for $125.
What? That's pretty cheap.
Men's are great, so we just put prices down. Goal is to eventually make them like Air Forces.
Cool. So tell me more about this Air Force strategy.
Yeah, so Air Force, I saw another store, I think it was like Luxury Box, ATL.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they sell them. There's like all stores.
Shout out the boys, Dan and
Yeah.
Ben, if you're watching this.
So I saw them. They have Air Forces at like they had them at $100. It's basically just to bring customers in, just let customers know. Like we'll always have them, all sizes.
Yeah.
Just to get them here, other than Finish Line, Foot Locker, because they sell them for $150.
You actually have it cheaper than the retailers.
Yes, yeah, for this shoe.
We were talking about it a little bit earlier, where people are coming in asking like, why are they so expensive, whatever. Do you ever like carry the exact same stuff those stores have over there?
I try not to, no.
Okay.
Obviously with like the Air Forces and like the Pandas, nowadays that the stores are getting like a bunch of Pandas, but I try to not have what they have because it's like, you just get it over there.
Yeah.
You just walk over there and just get it cheaper.
Yeah.
So yeah, all this stuff is like shoes that they just would not have.
Yeah.
Just because it's older releases.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, a lot of the stuff over there in like Foot Locker, Finish Line now is starting to sit, like the Dunks.
Yeah.
Stuff like
a lot
that.
of Dunks are starting to sit.
Do you think is that why you're moving away from the Dunks and more towards this section, which we want to hit in a sec?
Yes, for
The
sure.
Asics and the New Balance.
Yeah, so just providing value for customers, providing something that they can't find every day. It's really the goal because back then, you know, like Jordans and Dunks are
Yeah.
impossible to find for
Oh, yeah.
retail. Like they just non-existent. So that's why people really want them because they're just like so sought after, desired, and hard to get. They're willing to pay like the $200 to $300 range for a pair of like $100 shoes, just because no one else could have them.
Yeah.
Now that the Dunks are starting to sit, it's like, oh, everyone has them, so it kind of like loses like that, like, oh, I got them, you don't.
Got it. What do we have over here?
All right, so I got a vintage section. So yeah, this is just like vintage clothes. I'm kind of into vintage myself. So just bringing stuff in, something that's like cheaper for clothing. It's like the only stuff pre-owned we have in store. So just like this random stuff like jerseys, like race car tees, like this Racer XT, which is really cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's from 1992.
Where are you buying this stuff from?
I just have like one guy that just like, he has a vintage store, and when I'm running low, then I just drop off the new stuff.
And how are margins on this stuff? I imagine it's cheaper than the Hellstar.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, $40 for this tee right here.
Yeah, so it's usually like I said, like 40 to 50%. I'm gonna buy it for 10, sell it for 20.
Got
type
it.
Thing.
Got it. Cool. What's the strategy between stocking? Because I mean, most of the stuff is like super expensive, right? Like denim tiers, Hellstar Spider, like $340 for a hoodie, and then this stuff is like $30, $40.
Yeah.
Do you think that difference impacts the way people see the items?
I wouldn't say so, no. I think it's just us giving customers like more of like a price range. Like, say if you don't like, not everyone wants to spend like $300 on a hoodie,
Yeah.
or like $150 on a shirt. So just having a shirt that could be like $20, $30, like more affordable.
Yeah.
So you have like the cheap stuff, affordable stuff, and then you have obviously like the higher end clothing.
Got it.
Same thing with shoes.
Got
as
it.
well.
Cool.
So there's something for everyone.
So you're working at Finish Line, right? And the goal was to make some extra money, just to be able to buy your own personals.
Yeah.
At what point did your mindset switch to, hey, like I can really make some serious money with this?
Yeah, so I think it was like I was seeing at Finish Line, like I said, when I first got hired, I saw the manager like backdooring shoes to him, and I kind of see like what the shoes were going for and like what we sell them for. I'm like, wow, he's making really good money.
Yeah.
So I kind of looked at that. I was like, oh, and this guy was just doing, this is his full-time job, just to go to like Finish Lines and just buy shoes and sell them over. So I kind of saw like the business side of it. Yeah, first it started just for me getting shoes, and then once I started to see like, oh, I could actually make money doing this and turn it into a business, that's when it kind of clicked for me.
Was there ever a moment where you got scammed or something bad happened where you almost felt like quitting?
Yeah. So when it was like 2022, I would say this is like the first year of getting into like really reselling as like a business.
Yeah.
There's an app called OfferUp. So I use like apps like OfferUp, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace to try to source shoes. And I came across this guy. He was like, "Hey, can we do like work out a trade? Like, what inventory do you have right now?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." So got his phone number from OfferUp, and then we started talking over the phone. We FaceTime, like showed each other inventory. And he was like, "Hey, I need this for like so and so. I have all these shoes like dead stock that I just don't need anymore. I'm trying to sell." So I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, you want to do a trade?" And it was like a little bit in my favor because he needed like shoes for people, or what he said. And so what we did is just shipped out at the same time. So I made sure, because I was worried about getting scammed. So I was like, because it's like a stranger. Like I've talked with him over the phone, but just shipping shoes out at the same time. Like, yeah, he films himself. Like we're on FaceTime. He's like boxed up all the shoes, showing me each shoes like in the box, and he's like, "Yep, I got the label printed out." And then he like sent a picture of like at the post office. So I was like, okay, cool. And once he did that, I dropped off my package to the post office, shipped, and I was like, he got the shoes like the day before. I was like, "You got them good?" He's like, "Yep, I got them." And then when I got my box in, it was just full of dirt and rocks. And this was probably like, I shipped them out like $2,000 to $3,000. I don't know the exact number, but it was like $2,000 to $3,000 worth of shoes. And man, I was devastated. I was pissed, like sad, like all the emotions you could feel during then. Why me? Like I shipped out these shoes and like made sure I pulled it up on my end, and this guy ships me a bunch of like dirt and rocks. So yeah, it was pretty shitty. Yeah.
And at the time, I mean, $3,000, was that like a big chunk of?
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was a lot at the time. Because like I said, it was like first year selling shoes like as a business, and like that was a lot of money. Probably my inventory worth at the time was like 10,000, so 30 grand inventory.
30% just
yeah,
now.
30% like that. And it's like, what, you can't do anything.
Jeez. How do you stay motivated when something like that happens? I mean, you're losing 30% of everything you have, how do you
Yeah.
have the motivation to keep going?
I mean, you either cry about it and like give up, or you just work harder. So that was my mindset. Is just like, hey, I'm just gonna put in double the work, triple the work, just to make up for this lost inventory. So that was my mindset at the time. I was like, yeah, being sad about it's not gonna do any help. I gotta like put action to it. So I just worked harder than like ever. At that point, I was like really locked in. I was really focused on the business. That's all I did. Like when I woke up to when I went to bed, I was always on Facebook Marketplace, all these like other apps, just seeing, offering what I could get. I was cleaning shoes myself. Like every day I would clean like a few pairs of shoes. I was also icing like Jordan 11, so making like the yellow soles like clear again. So I was doing anything I could really to make money. Lived, breathed shoes for like just that business for like about like a year and a half.
Yeah.
After that,
Just nonstop.
yeah, nonstop.
Yeah. Distract yourself from the pain.
Huh?
Distract yourself from the pain.
Yeah, right.
Brutal. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was like a tough point for the business and like reselling like in life in general. So
By the end of that year and a half, how much were you making?
depends on the month, but it was like after that year, it was probably like five to even 10,000 like profit. It was like that 1 year, yeah.
Okay. And is that more than what the store does in profit now?
Yeah. Like after it's like depends on the month, obviously, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's times where I was making like holiday season, like I was making like a lot of money from that, and during the slow months, I would say like you're making more than then, but.
And so do you think it's worth it to even open a store if you can make more?
So depends what you want to do. I'm really passionate about like sneakers and like the business. So I love coming to the store every day. Like just like being here every day, being able to sell shoes, sell clothes, like educate people about the culture. I think that's huge for me. If you're just like consigning, you can make money like wholesaling more, I would say, like, consigning, for sure. Because you don't have all of these expenses like no overhead. But in the long run, I think a store is like the way to go. If you'd really create a brand and create something people can get behind, and create value for the community. I think it goes a long way. And like the more and more time, like the years that you're open, is like the bigger you get.
Yeah. So you mentioned inventory costs, the startup costs. How much did it cost to get everything opened?
So I would say in total for this location, and stores are different too. You could have more and less open store, but we had like I think like 150,000 total capital. I would say like that's what I would also recommend too.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. Like I would say like 125, get away with it. But you just won't have enough product to like, or as much product open up. When you do open up a store, you don't want people to come in. There's like only like 50 shoes, 10 shoes. So it's like you gotta have product when you open. And obviously it's grown over the time, but I would say like 150,000, 125 is like the minimum that you need.
Yeah, so you were just showing me the numbers before this, but how much did we start in inventory costs and how much do we have now?
So inventory cost was about 110,000
When we first opened.
when we first opened, yeah. So that was our inventory.
So what are we at now?
Right now, we just checked, we're at 173 inventory value.
It's pretty good.
So yeah,
And it's been less than a year?
less than a year, yeah.
I mean, where are you buying all this stuff from? So like we got Bread for Reimagines. Oh, this is what we just picked up.
Yeah. So this is what we just picked up retail. So retailers just have like leftover pairs, either people that didn't pick them up, maybe the employee didn't want a pair anymore, so they just put it back for sale. So yeah, just like the leftover pairs, so wherever we could grab.
Got it. And how about the rest of the stuff?
So the rest of the stuff comes from like local sellers, either wholesalers or just retail. Like for this, for example, and then I would say like Bread 4s that I just bought like 15 pairs just locally, just off of like a local reseller. Yeah, I pay like a little bit under market. I try to pay fair, so like my local guys, just to keep them happy, keep the business relationships going.
Yeah, got it.
We got all of this at SneakerCon the other day.
This was just yesterday, yeah?
Yeah.
And so how do you decide what pairs to buy? I mean, this seems like a pretty random.
Yeah, so you see like a lot of Yeezy boxes. So like Yeezys is like kind of tough to find for me personally. Like locally, they'll have like 1 or 2 pairs, but the events is like the best place to buy pairs, especially when it's like a local one. Like it was Boston, so it was 30 minutes from the store. So
that was nice.
It was awesome. Just stuff you can't like really find. I didn't buy like you don't see any Nike Dunk boxes.
I know this is like the first time I feel like.
Yes, that I didn't, because like right now I can just buy all the Dunks like overseas. Overseas market is way cheaper, especially stuff like that. But Yeezys and stuff overseas, it's a little bit tougher. And then the Jordan retros, is tougher to find like overseas for like
Yeah.
a good price. So
So speaking on trends, the shoes that we're selling, right? We used to be doing mostly Dunks and Jordans, and now it's mostly Asics and New Balance. That's always changing. But do you think sneaker reselling itself is a trend?
it was trendy, yes. And then I feel like the people that really enjoy like sneakers and like sneaker culture, I think that those people will be around to stay. Because like all the shoes, like my mindset is like everyone's gonna need something to wear on their feet. Whether it's like 50 years ago, 50 years in the future, so everyone's gonna need something on their feet. Like not everyone's walking around barefoot, right? I think it's like a little bit trend. Like people saw how much money you can make off of like 2020 when people got the stimulus checks. Like you go on retail, like buy Jordan would make like $50 off that. Like anyone could do it. It was so accessible back then.
Yeah.
Now it's more like harder. So like the people who really enjoy it are gonna like stick around, I think.
What's indisputable is that the market itself is down, right?
Yes.
It's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
And so I see a lot of people saying like sneaker reselling is dead. How are you able to continue during this like down period?
Yeah, I mean, just like following the trends and like finding that competitive edge, like supplying stuff that people don't have, or like other stores that won't have, the customers actually want, because the customers, like without them, you're not selling to anyone. So you gotta hear them out, be like, hey, like what do you, I ask this like all the time, like, hey, like what, if you didn't find anything, like what were you looking for? Getting like their feedback too is like a big thing.
What's one final piece of advice to someone who's thinking about opening a store? So maybe they're on the edge. What would you tell them?
If you're really passionate and you really love like sneakers and you love like this type of thing, go for it. I say like push it, take a chance, especially if you're young too, because you're so young. Like even if it doesn't work out, you can just find something else. At least you could say you tried it. So I'd say go for it. That's what I did. I mean, I took the jump. I was like a little hesitant, but I just went for it, and now, yeah.